Wow. Welcome.
Love it.
Welcome, one and all, to this beautiful Tuesday where we're having the Wise Agent Society Sharpen the Saw episode 27 with one of my favorite high energy folks in San Diego, Mr. Eric Gilman. He has been in the Cutco business for over 17 years. He's an author, born and raised in New York City. I'm sorry, born in New York City, raised in San Diego. And he's done some amazing bicycle rides, huge fundraising events across the globe, or at least across the country. And we'll get into all of that a little bit more. But Eric, thank you so much for joining the show today. How are you, sir?
I'm staying sharp, man. Just doing great over here. Thanks for having me, Shay. Appreciate it, man. It's good to see you.
You bet, dude. You know, it's funny. Just as we were playing the intro music, I glanced outside, and it's snowing. It's like freaking snowing in Iowa.
Yep.
I was like, it's not supposed to snow today. I started 75 hard yesterday. I have to go walk outside for 45 minutes.
You're going out there, man. Embraced it. Embraced the
sun. I'm excited. I got on warm clothes. It'll be all right.
Definitely, man.
That's part of the hard, right? It's not 75 easy.
Exactly.
Last year when I did it, I mean, I remember a couple of walks where it was like sleeting. It wasn't even like dry snow. It was like wet snow or wet sleet, you know? So it was cold and wet.
Fun. Best way to work out.
It is fun, man. It is fun.
It is.
Let's talk real quickly about how we know each other. I mean, we know each other from San Diego. I was in the real estate biz. Well, I'm still in the real estate biz, but from selling houses in San Diego over the years. And gosh, I'm trying to think of where I met you. Probably was it in there? It wasn't at like because we also did the pitch sessions that I remember seeing you at a lot, but yeah, probably Keller Williams.
That was what I remember sitting down to when you like placed an order. I remember sitting in the KW Del Mar office at least. So we might have seen me in different caravans and stuff. And I'm kind of, I'm everywhere. I'm like the wind.
Yeah, I love it. You are everywhere. And we worked out at the same gym for a long time. Do you still work out at that one 24-hour fitness by the Applebee's in Balboa?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's funny I've worked out at that gym off and on for years and years. And years. There used to be a bank in the parking lot. That's how long ago that when I worked out there.
I mean, I hate to one up you, but I used to work out when that gym was across the street. I remember it used to be a supermarket.
That's right. It was a grocery store.
Yeah, that's why it has such the big high ceilings and, so vast and everything. But yeah, it was a supermarket before. And I remember I got grandfathered in to that rate of the across the street price of us paying. I got rid of it during COVID, but then I did actually get it back. But it was like $16 a month for like 12 years.
Wow. Is that what you're paying now too?
I dropped it during COVID because I wasn't going, to the gym, blah, blah, blah. But I got it back for like $20 a month. They're desperate to get people back. Go to your gyms for multiple different reasons, but go and support your local businesses and your gyms. So
I love that gym too. That's a good gym. It's big, it's diverse, it's got everything.
Yeah, like many places we're mentioning before, it's gotten rather crowded because they don't cap membership or anything like that. But it's such a big space. If you go at the right time of day, time it. Yeah, for sure. Timing's everything, man.
Yeah, man. So always been happy to know you, and you're always just fun to be around and a cool dude. So thanks for your friendship and being a colleague too. Let's talk a little bit more about you and these points we were talking about. So tell us about your journey in your business and what that looks like today.
Yeah, I guess it starts in high school, right? Because I'm still have the same job that I had in high school, which is a rare thing to say, especially nowadays. But yeah, I've been with the same company for 17 years. I started this high school summer job selling Cutco knives, which you might have heard of. I mean, I know you've heard of them, but it's really high quality, 100% American made kitchenware. Right. And if you'd asked me when I'm 17, like, what do you think you're going to do with your life? I think I'm going to be the greatest knife salesman of all time. Like, it wouldn't have been my top 3 answers. But it started as a part-time summer job, turned into a college, do it during SDSU, and I won some scholarships. And then when I graduated in 2012, and I was like, well, what am I going to do? I'm going to go sell something. I might as well keep selling what I'm really good at. And that's when I got promoted to a position called Cutco Sales Professional. So it's for people who do this full time. It's different than the college kids who traditionally, sell door to door. And then for the last, fast forwarding through different positions in the company, for the last 9 years, I've held the position of area director for our gifting program. So that's what brought us together, right? And that's what, we'll talk about today. And it's not just about the knives. It's about, as we say, we're selling knives and changing lives, right? But at the end of the day, what that really boils down to is we've taken Cutco, a high quality American-made institution, and we turn it into the most high quality branding piece available on the planet. And that's what we specialize in for businesses, is helping them increase repeat and referral based business through top of mind awareness. It's really that simple. Number one reason people don't use the same agent, or any business for that matter, is that they're not top of mind. They don't think of them. They don't feel like they're thought about, cared, loved, or they just move on to the next person. Because let's be honest, Shay, right? There's a lot of competition in real estate. It's not like it's that hard to find a real estate agent. No offense.
Yeah.
What we do is we take Cutco, which again, high quality American made product, and we custom engrave it with your name, your logo, your tagline. And so we stick that, boom, in the most used room in the entire household. We can also customize it with their name. We can make the engraving big, small, all that different type of stuff. The bottom line is we help you become unforgettable.
Yeah, I love it.
And so that's what I've been doing for the last 9 years. My, position really entails me traveling all over Southern California. I speak at over 100 different offices, 9 different associations on a regular basis. And my job is meeting people and showing them this awesome product and helping them. At the end of the day, my job is to get you more repeat and referral based business. It's not just to sell you as many knives as I can. And that's what I take a lot of pride in, is the systems. And we can get into this today. It's not just like, oh, we sell you some knives and good luck. It's the systems. It's the backing. It's the team support. It's the little things that you do in between the bricks, the mortar between the bricks. It actually makes a building. Because if you just stack a bunch of bricks together, that's not a building. That's just a bunch of different things that you put together. And I think a lot of businesses do that. I'm getting ahead of myself, but yeah, we focus a lot on the glue that brings it all together. So in a nutshell, that's what I've been doing. And yeah, I have a passion for, we could talk about it more too, passion for stand-up comedy. And I've been doing all that. So we can get into that.
I love that about you. Yeah. I also wanted to talk, let's go over these points, the rest of these points real quick here too. The author of The Power to Change. I think I remember this story about your life and what that looked like.
Yeah. So just, a little bit about me. I wrote this book. Actually, it's crazy, man. almost 12 years ago. Like time is a flying. It's called The Power to Change. And it's about like the coal to diamonds. It's not about overnight change. It's about making small, long lasting change that becomes forever. To give you a little bit about me, that's me when I was a kid. I had a love affair with pizza. I still love pizza. We're just on a slightly less day-to-day basis. But the point is, I was super obese. I got kicked out of my high school. Not for being fat. They don't do that. But just for behavioral issues, always, getting in trouble, always at the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong group of people. Had a bunch of run-ins with the law. The point is, Shay, is I turned my life around. I did. I 180'd my life. And so many people would ask me, I stopped hanging out with the same group of people. I started eating healthier. I started playing sports. I got this crazy job selling knives. And my key driving factor, my key value, I'd say, is that I believe in life. And this is what drives me in most of the things that I do, is that if you have the ability to help somebody, in a lot of ways, you have a responsibility to help somebody. Now, I didn't say you have to go out there and help every single person on the planet. But for me, so many people ask me, Eric, what changed? What made your life change? How are you different? I want to be different. I want to be healthier. I want to be not such a lazy POS. So I wrote a book. I wrote the book. It's a short book. It's 98 pages. I wrote it for people like me who don't like to read. There's no chapters over 10 pages. It's quick. It's easy. I've heard it's a great plain read, but it just gets to the point. And it's like, here's some little tips that you can use along the way. So yeah, I wrote the book for the same reason.
Oh, that was accidental. Yeah, this is the book.
I'm always ready to rock, dude. And that's the same reason you mentioned. I rode a bicycle, not a motorbike, a bicycle across the country from Miami to San Diego. We did that 2 years ago, and we raised over $110,000 for a medical clinic that I built in Haiti. So
how much money did you raise?
Over 110,000.
Wow, that's awesome, dude.
And it all went directly to the clinic. 100% of the money raised went directly to our medical clinic, and I've been involved with this charity for over a decade. I've been to Haiti 4 times. I built a building there. Our clinic serves over 80,000 people so far. It's truly a miracle on earth. Point is, though, man. Thank you. Dude. It was a hoot, man. And to answer the question that's inevitably on a lot of your minds, like my ass, it's okay. It's recovered. 3,100 miles later. But yeah, it was
3,100 miles.
3,100 miles, 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 8 states. But why I say like, oh, I'm selling knives and changing lives, and like, oh, it sounds like a cheesy thing to say, but like the knives that I sold while I was on the road by my team, because I sold like 80 grand of Cutco while I was biking across the country. Not me, the team. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah.
All that money funded the ride, and I was able to do that. All the money raised went directly to the clinic. So it was just really cool.
That's cool.
Not $1 of the 110,000 paid for a hotel room or a burrito or a bike tire. That all money came directly from my clients. And I think
the preferred fuel for the bike ride was burritos?
I mean, in the beginning, it was, whatever the most efficient fuel at the time, and timing is right. And by the second half of the ride, it was like, just give me whatever, dude. Give me whatever. Put it in.
What do you got? Yeah, I want it.
It was like the beginning of the ride, like to give some perspective. And we could talk about how like things change over time, and, it just gets harder or easier in some ways the more you do something. But like the beginning of the ride, I remember I waited like halfway through the day to drink my energy drink, or like, I'm not going to drink I'm not going to drink the powder until I really need it, and just really spacing it out. Fast forward to like the last 2 days of the ride. I think I like woke up, I'm like, and like drank 2 5-hour energies. Like, all right, time for breakfast.
That's awesome, man.
It was just do what you had to do. But at the end of the day,
you started where and ended where?
Yeah, I've started on March 17th in Miami, and I finished on May in Miami, and then I finished in May in San Diego.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That's
cool.
And
despite all the challenges, the ups and downs, I mean, we made a movie about it too. We could put the link in here. The link is on if you look on the bottom of my Instagram, the link is to the movie is the link on my Instagram in the bio. But we made like a 20-minute movie about the ride, and it just kind of captures a glimpse of it. But at the end of the day, through all the ups and downs, I made it at the exact time I said I would. And that was not easy.
What was that? Was that 2 years ago? Yeah,
crazy. It was 2 years ago, and we could talk about this one story too, because I'm going to be sharing this on a message I'm giving later. But I don't want to talk all bike ride stuff today. But 2 years ago yesterday, I had the biggest bike ride day and the biggest fundraising day of the entire ride. I biked 151 miles in one day. And I raised over 11,500 that day.
Wow. And how long does it take you to bike 151 miles?
Longer than I thought.
Like 12 hours? 10 hours?
Let's see. I started at about 8 a.m. and I finished at about 1 a.m.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
And it was one of those things. And I'll just share real quick, because I'm not going to beat around the bush. I don't want to come back to it, but it's one of those things, man, that like it was born from adversity. I think it's relevant, and why I share this with people now. That day was born from challenge, right? I didn't wake up and say I want to ride 150 miles today. I had 2 days planned in Florida to ride 75 miles and then 75 miles, like a pretty normal day. But we woke up that day and it was pouring, like torrential Florida rain, no chance of riding whatsoever. So I'm like, well, I still got to be where I got to be. So I'm not going to make excuses, and I'm just going to double down, right? And I think that's where a lot of people in business and in life, like challenges come and you just automatically compromise. Like, oh, this happened. Well, that's not going to happen. Well, is that not that important anymore? Because 2 weeks ago, that was the most important thing in the world. And now, because it fucking rained, they're like, oh, I'm not going to do that. And we're talking about like, I'm not going to 75 hard. Like, oh, it's raining. I'm not going to work out today. Trust me, I am just as guilty as everybody doing this. I have canceled the bike ride because it's cloudy. Trust me. But when it's like, in that case, when it needs to get done, like when I cancel a bike ride when it's cloudy, that's my spoiled San Diego self talking. That's not on the road raising money for charity. That's like, oh, it's too cloudy to go run today. San Diego. But the point is it needs to get done. So when your why is strong enough, the how is going to reveal itself. So I doubled down. I put on Facebook that night. I said, who would donate $150 if I bike 150 miles tomorrow? And shout out to Heath Hildenberg, who has become he's always a good time friend, but he put the first comment. He said, I'll double anything. I'll match anything that gets donated today.
Oh, wow.
And it went kind of viral. We had over 100 comments. Before I took off on the ride, we had raised, before Heath's match, over $3,500 before I even left. So it was like, I got to do it. There's no, like, I can't not do it.
Yeah.
And then
that's motivation. That's definitely motivation.
And then, to answer your question, though, how long it took, I thought it would take me like 12 hours. I thought I'd leave by 8. I could be done by 8.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to 8, like 8 p.m. It's 8 p.m.
Yeah.
I have a video of it. It's on my Facebook. I just posted it yesterday. It's I was 100 miles in. So I had 50 miles to go. Wow. And it's getting dark. And I rode the rest of it on a Friday night in the South in the dark on small highways. One of the most sketchy things I've done because happy hour starts in the South on a Friday.
Oh,
yeah. And
where were you? Were you like Louisiana or where were you?
I finished. I was coming up through the Panhandle, so I bike kind of like through the Tallahassee area. Okay. Yeah, so essentially north of Tampa to Tallahassee, and a little bit west to a town called Quincy. And I'll finish with this because it's worth hearing. It's really funny. We finished in this little town called Quincy, like one stoplight, one church, one bank, one McDonald's. Those are the 4 staples of every small town. I swear to God.
Yeah, they're all over Iowa, just like that.
Yeah. And one little, you get it. And I get there and it's like I'm at like 148 miles, but I'm not going to go to the next town. So my girlfriend had, we got a hotel, but I was like, I got to finish, right? So it's about midnight and there's one little bar, right? And it's Friday night. There's people outside smoking cigarettes and I'm taking laps and I'm doing laps. And I'm by lap 3, I can tell people noticed. And by about lap 5, one guy starts, and then I stop in front of the bar. I hit 151 miles. It's about 12:30 a.m. And I just hit my brakes in front of the bar. And I'm like, thanks for cheering. And this guy goes, I'm not kidding. He's got a huge beard, long hair. He's probably in his 60s, 70s. Looks like he's, let's just say, seen some stuff. And he goes, dude, where did you come from? And I'm like, Miami, which is about 900 miles away. And he goes, I think I'm tripping. And I gave him a sticker and I'm like, I'm real, dude. Remember me. And,
that's awesome.
The point is we got done and the next morning, not only had we raised the $5,600 from everybody's donations, but again, shout out to Heath. I didn't even have to ask. He had already Venmo'd the $5,600 directly to our account, which was like a true gem.
That's amazing.
So
that's amazing, dude.
It starts from adversity, right? It's like, it's like 2023 for a lot of people was one of the hardest years of their careers, of their lives for a lot of different reasons. Not to say there's no promises in 2024, but are you going to just give up on the thing Are you just going to say, oh, that's not that important anymore. That house is not that important anymore. That dream I have is not that important anymore because rates change because some guy in a building 3,000 miles away decided we're going to manipulate the market. Like, no, you control your destiny. You control what happens with your legs, your arms, your voice, and your phone for a lot of the calls.
Yeah.
That was a hoot. That was the bike ride in a nutshell. But watch the movie. Still donate if you can. 100% of the money does go directly back to the clinic. It is in Haiti. Our clinic is, because people ask all the time, if you're following the news at all, Haiti is not doing well. Our clinic is in a 3 hours outside of the capital. We are 100% fine, 100% not connected to the government or Haitian organizations. Point is, people are safe, but we really need the money. We always do, but we're saving lives. It costs $33 to save a life at our clinic on average. We're delivering kids every day. That's my big passion, and I love it.
Yeah, that's so cool, dude. And I really think that's timely, your story about or talking about adversity and when things change and roadblocks come up or things are different suddenly. You have to just figure it out. And so there's a lot of people out there right now with the NAR stuff, freaking out or talking about how everything's going to change and everything's going to be different and everything's crazy and it's bad and scary and whatever. And I'm like, I haven't even flinched. I'm 0% worried about it. This much is how much it bothers me because nothing is going to change. For the people that are business people and that are out there to truly serve other people and help them achieve their goals, you're going to figure it out. Like, that's what this whole business is about. It's not about doing it the same way we've always done it. It's never been that way. We always change. We're always evolving. And truly, not much is going to change with this. That's the other thing. Truly, also, none of it's been approved by a judge, and the DOJ hasn't even had a chance to step in, which they did on the KW settlement that didn't go through because they won't let them. So it's like we're talking about stuff that doesn't even exist. So it's like, hey, man, just calm down. Yes, be educated. Take a look at it. You can see even in the writings that not much is different. Nothing will really change. So they're not proposing anything big, crazy. Just get on the phone, talk to people, help them achieve their goals. That's it. Just be helpful.
I think it boils down to what you're saying. Exactly. It's exactly. Yeah, I love that you said 0% because there's two types of people. There's people who are worried about it and there's people who aren't. And if you're worried about it, I mean, this is really crass and brokers hate when I say this in front of agents. It's just quit now. Quit now. Just because you're not going to be able, because like, what do you think? This is going to affect your ability to exactly what you said. This doesn't affect your ability to add value continuously, to make someone feel good, to make someone feel better. And that's why they do business with you. They don't do business with you because you're the greatest negotiator in the world. Maybe you are really good. And that's
partially,
that's why they like you. And they like you because they do business with you. It's one of the factors. But if you can add on to that value auxiliary, and we can talk about that too, but it's like, how much further can you go for your clients? But yeah, everybody loves to listen to chatter and talk and fear. So it's a lot of fear out there, man. It's always been the case, I think. And that's, fed by our media. And I think it's important to
fear sells, man. Adversity sells.
What's going on in the world, but not through our news sources.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
It's the worst TV show on the planet that it's selling fear and
they're not out to get you. They're just out there to make money. That's all they want is money. So they'll talk about and sell you anything you'll watch. That's what they want is you to watch. That's it.
Yep.
Anyway, so all that said, it's perfect for time to reassess, get back to basics, just like we've been talking about all along. And one of my best, what a mentor told me, one of the best things ever in the past, that if you're not getting the results that you need in your business, whatever business it is, you just need to have more conversations with strangers, new people. Doesn't have to be stranger, but new people that you haven't talked to about whatever it is that you're doing for business. Have more conversations with them. That's it. It's that simple.
My first manager, it's interesting in last year being, I mean, I'm just being 100% transparent. Hi, Ruth. Is last year was one of the most challenging years of my career. I think I'm not alone in that. My business slowed down just like everybody's, and most importantly, our reorders slowed down, just like everybody's. But the point is, like we were just talking about, what does that mean for me, right? Does that mean that I cut my lifestyle, cut my expenses? Sure, there's certain budgeting things, but what that really means is just, if this slows down, we'll ramp up per effort. But the point is, I've been going back to the basics, right? In the last 2023, I have quoted my first manager more than I ever have in my entire career, because I'm back to the basics. And one of them is, he used to say this all the time, and this is so true. There are few problems in life that can't be solved by making 100 phone calls.
Wow, that's a good one. I've heard versions of that. That's a good one.
It's very few, and it's been the truth my entire life. Yesterday, I got on the phone. I just got back from traveling for like a month, and it's all been great, also good times. But again, you're gone for a month, business is slowed, and I did 100 phone call day. All of a sudden, I went to bed last night. I was like, I am busy, right? Whereas my perception on Sunday is like, oh no, my business is not doing good, right? But then I wake up on Monday and you have a choice, right? Is you going to sit and wonder if your business is going to get better, or are you going to change your business? And that just comes down through another quote he used to have. We used to have it up on a sign. If you like the movie Friday, you would get this quote, but it says, "You better hit them phones like they slap your mama."
That's a good one. I was going to say, pick up the damn phone. That's another one.
Yeah, you would just walk around the office and like, you gotta hit them phones like they slap your mama, boy. Let's go. And you have a bell. We had a fired up office, man. I miss that. I don't miss it. It's just such a great, great times.
Yeah. No, that's it. And then I had a mentor that said similarly that there's not a problem that can't be fixed for a realtor that 10 new listings can't fix. There's not a problem that 10 listings can't fix. And it's like, That's true.
Yeah.
That'll fix any problem you have. 10 new listings will fix it. Promise.
Yep.
So
Definitely.
how do you get those listings? You got to make phone calls. You got to talk to people.
Just going back to the basics and, doing other things auxiliary, I said, to not just, hey, do you know anybody buying, selling, or investing in the next 30, 60, 90 days? Like, sure, that's a conversation you'd need to have at certain points, but, let's get into it, right? Because this is what I really think is the most relevant value for people, that what I do, I don't think I say do differently, but I teach to agents and I teach to people because I don't do it differently. I just do it.
Yeah.
I think that's a big thing, right? Because a lot of people I'm not reinventing the wheel. I can give you my, 7 keys for client retention, but I didn't invent any of them. I've heard of it, I implemented it, and now I'm teaching it as I do it. But the problem is a lot of people, number one, you hear great ideas. We all hear great ideas. You might be listening right now. Like, I'm going to give you like 2 or 3 things you could do today to shift your trajectory, but are you going to do it?
Yeah.
And then more
implementation and consistency.
Bingo. Will you be doing it a month from now, 2 years from now? And we could talk about my birthday system, but let's say for example, having events. I think that's a really easy way to stimulate people around you, is hosting an event. And what does that mean? It means whatever that means to you. And I think one of my best pieces of advice I got early on from a guy named Dan Fulkerson. If anyone is in San Diego, you know him as the Bulldog attorney. He's one of the most, prominent defense attorneys in the country. He's the Bulldog attorney because he has a bulldog with him at all times. His charity is bulldogs. He has bulldogs in the office. I mean, think about a bulldog as an attorney is a good, kind of analogy. But that's his heart, right? And so the point is, do what you love to do, and your business will attract the people who love to do that as well. So the simple ones is, we're coming up on summer, right? Who's hosting a barbecue? I don't care if you're a realtor or not. Do you have a business? Are you hosting a yearly barbecue? Like, that costs pretty low amount of money, and you can host it at your home or like a park or anywhere nearby. And here's the thing, Shay, is with events, it's 2 levels, right? Number one, first and foremost, you get face-to-face with people, right? You get face-to-face, you're making an experience, you're making memories, you're asking good questions. I think we need to come back to that part. That's an important thing. But more so on the second level, if I'm hosting an event, whether or not my client comes, guess what happened before? I was talking to him. Hey, Shay, what's up, buddy? How's it going? How's your summer going? How's the kids? How's the family? How's the dog? That's fantastic. Hey, just wanted to make sure your house is awesome. Perfect. The other thing is, I'm having a barbecue at my house for all my closest friends, family, and clients. I want you to be there. Oh, you can't make it? Hey, dude, I love you. We'll see you next year.
Yeah, perfect. Easy peasy. And all you did was invite them somewhere. Who doesn't like getting invited?
Right? Most of those times, exactly. It's the inverse of like who doesn't like or who likes to get not invited. Nobody, right? Nobody likes to see the party that they could have been at and they weren't invited to. So it's just a reason. So that's one thing immediately I think people can do is like host an event. So barbecue, bowling night, pie giveaways are coming up. A slip and slide event, like whatever, do something for kids. Like it's a kid giveaway. Easter is coming up, right? Everyone should be an Easter egg hunt. Like all these things cost less than $500. And like for me, I do comedy, right? So I host comedy shows. I have comedy for a cause. So I actually help agents. I'll host a show for someone, we'll raise money, but that's my thing. I'm always inviting people. Hey, come to this comedy show. It's giving me not just something that I love doing. It's giving me a reason to proactively reach out to people with aside from saying, hey, do you know anybody who needs to buy some knives? Hey, do you need some more knives? Like, obviously, if they need more knives, if I'm doing my job well enough, being branded, right? I'm the sharpest guy, you got a knife with my name on it. Like, what I do. Just like if you're an agent or any business owner, if they got a knife with your name on it and you send them, monthly emails, they know what you do. So go further, right? Become their friend, because if you're their friend, it doesn't matter if you're charging double commission than the other guy, they'll go with you. Right. It doesn't matter if you're going to, again, there's a lot of them. I'm speaking frankly for clients, but like they'll go with the person who's the most closest to them. And that's what building those.
And also top of mind, just like you said.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you're always inviting them to things. You're always being in touch with them. You're always having conversations. You're always checking in with them.
Yeah.
Not in a salesy, slick way, but hey, how's it going? What's going on? What's new? Anything?
And so let's jump in, because I remember I was like trying to think, what did I say we should go back to is ask good questions, right? I mean, look, I understand you have, like, I'm not saying, before I say this, I'm not saying don't ask for referrals. I'm not saying don't ask if someone needs to buy, sell, or invest in the next 90 days. You have to ask those questions at the right time, and it's rare. Here's the better questions to ask. Like, solve a problem in their life, right? So questions, two simple ones. I'm always trying to dig deeper, but two simple things is, number one is like, what's a big goal you're working on right now? Hey, let me ask you something. What's a big goal you're working on right now? Or an easier way to say that for people who might not be as business oriented, right? Because not everybody has goal boards and breakdowns or whatever. Is, hey Shay, what's something you're really excited about coming up in the future? What's something, you got any trips? You got any play? Just don't even, like, hey, what's something you're excited about coming up? Anything cool going on? And then what do you do? Shut up. Listen. Most common misconception, I see this day and day, and look, I'm guilty of it as well. Most common misconception about good salespeople is that they're really good talkers. Well, you could talk your way, into selling a ketchup popsicle to a woman in white gloves. Like, yeah, but I wouldn't do that because that's not the best thing for her. The best salespeople are really good listeners. And so I always encourage people, and this ties into strategic appreciation, is work that muscle more than this one. This one gets enough workout all day. Work this one, right? Listen better to people. And you'll just pick up on things. And if you're listening, say, hey, what's a big goal you're working on right now? And people will just go, oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. I want to sell 5 houses. I want to, I want to travel. Like, cool. Where do you want to travel to? Here's my challenge. And is stop playing conversational tennis and start being a conversational receiver. Because so often, look, I've done it, right? Oh, I'm going skiing next year. Oh, cool. I love to ski. Where do you like to ski? I go to Mammoth. Oh, Mammoth is the best. I was up at Mammoth last year. Let me tell you this story about Mammoth. Like, dude, oh, you're going skiing next year? Where are you going? Mammoth? Oh, that's awesome. I love Mammoth. Let me ask you, what's your favorite restaurant in Mammoth? What's your favorite thing to do? What do you like most about it? And just let people talk, because what's everyone's favorite thing in the whole world to talk about?
Themselves.
Right. And that benefits us, because if my goal is to be a detective and appreciate you as much as I can, well, then perfect. Go talk, start talking. And what's really neat, and this is like ninja level, is when you hear something, and I've, as being a gifting and appreciation specialist for over about 10 years, I've become really good at this. But if you pick up on something like, oh, I'm going back, like a perfect example, I'm talking to my client, real life example. I'm talking to my client, David here in Temecula, and I'm going back to, I forget the school, whichever, I've write it down, like Michigan. No, I know it because I bought the gift. Michigan State. I'm going back to Michigan State this year for a football game. I'm from there. I went to school there. Go Blue. Like, we love it. Blue or die. Just going into it, I'm like, that's awesome, dude. I'm so fired up for you. And then 6 months later, a couple weeks before he left, I sent him a $4 magnet. It said, Michigan, go Blue. Have fun on your trip, dude. I hope you have a blast. Go Blue.
Yeah.
Do you think he's ever going to order knives from anyone else ever?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Right? Like, and I didn't do it because I need him as a client forever. I did it because it's the right thing to do. It didn't cost me a lot of time and money. And yeah, going back to what I was talking about with the bike ride, I was able to do that because David has purchased gifts 6 times. He's bought $7,000 worth of gifts. So, hey, at the end of the day, it's like with clients, like, did someone buy a house from you and refer their sister to you? And like, you got them, a bottle of champagne one time 3 years ago? Like, what are you doing to let them know how important that $14,000 commission was to you? Like, did you pay your bills with that for 2 months? Did you feed your family with that for 2 months? Like, it's not just like, and most of the stuff I preach, it's not like expensive. It's just little things. And they're non-consumable. So that's my big thing, is I don't send any gifts that are consumable, because I'm not a eating and drinking and forgot about brand.
I like that. I'm taking notes, by the way. So if you see me doing stuff, you're giving me tons of great material.
One of my little, so one of my favorite, I have like tons of little doodads and gifts, but one of my favorite little ones to send, it's right here. It's a tiny little wacky wave inflatable tube man. You can get these on Amazon, and you send it with a little card that says like, hey, I'm always a big fan of yours. He's dying. He needs a new battery.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Put it, somebody slap that on their desk.
Even better, what I'll do is I have let's see if I have one here. I have these little cards. Yep, I got one here. So again, make people feel important. And again, doing this for a while, I've got my desk looks like a toy store sometimes. It's just little things. I made these cards, right? So I stole this from a meme. There was a picture of a dog here before. I swear to God, a dog had the same pose. And I looked at it and I was like, dude, I have that same picture. I have that same and I literally created it. And
I almost used that one. I don't think I did for our little graphic, but I almost did.
So, and please do this, put this on people. And it has, my card on the back. This was the Eric Rides for Hope one. But I would take this with a tube man and my favorite is when I mail it to people. But the best is if I could sneak it into someone's office while they're they're in the office and then they go out of their office and I'd sneak in and I put the tube man there and I put this a little awesome card next to it and gotten a couple cool responses from that because people walk back into their office and there's a little tube man going with an awesome card in front of them.
I like it because you're giving them a compliment on that card. You're awesome. That's just, a lot of people aren't thinking about, making that's the other point is you want to make it about them, not about you. We're real good at talking about us and what we do and all of that, but we want to make it about them.
Yeah. Let's talk about that too. Cause that's a great segue into another thing that talking about referrals and adding value is, again, I'm not saying to stop asking for referrals. That's our job. That's how I built my business, baby. That's how I got through college was, hey, do you know anybody else who I could practice on? I get paid just for showing Cutco and they don't have to buy, blah, blah, blah. Always ask for referrals. That's Cutco training, sales training 101. Sales training 501, master's level. Start giving them regularly. I challenge people to not just ask for a referral a day. Don't just try to get a referral a day, which should be a goal. Aim to give one high quality referral every day. The point is be a connector. All right. Because if you can solve a problem in your client's life that has nothing to do with real estate, that has nothing to do with loans, that has nothing to do with car sales. Sorry, I'm going to wipe my lens here real quick. It's bugging me and I feel like I can get a better picture. Yep. A little bit. It's a little clearer, right? Yeah.
I love it.
Cool. I was staring at it. I'm I feel like there's a smudge on my lens.
I'm a freak about that stuff too.
Yeah. Is give referrals constantly. So the question that going back to those two questions, right? I didn't even give you the second one. What's a big goal you're working on right now? And then, hey, Shay, let them talk, let them go. Ask another question. And then, hey, Shay, let me ask you if it's okay. What's the biggest challenge stopping you from doing that? Oh, I want to lose 20 pounds. Hey, Shay, let me ask you if you don't mind. If you don't mind, you got to be sensitive about people's stuff because they're really, if they're being honest with you and opening up, you never want to be accusatory or pushy or put your mindset on them. And that's kind of goes back to the conversational tennis thing. So if someone told you about their political views or their, views about race or sex, that doesn't mean that you just get to throw yours back at them. Just listen to them. That's what they think. And I think this is world advice. If we just did a little bit more of that, then we would all get along a lot better. But everyone just wants to yell backwards at what they think. But here's the thing. Let me ask you a question, Jay. What's the biggest challenge stopping you from selling 14 houses this year? What's the biggest challenge stopping you from losing 30 pounds before summertime? What's the biggest challenge stopping your kids from getting into that school? What's the biggest challenge from you moving out of state? Oh, I don't have a good lender. Oh, I'm locked into this. Oh, I can't stop eating at night. And the point of this is where you come in is this is again, sales training 401. Right below this is you got to build a master network. You got to have, if you're a real estate expert, which Shay, you are a real estate expert. I am an expert at client retention and gifting, which means if you are an expert in your field, which I hope everybody who has a business claims that they are, because if you don't at least think that you are, no one's going to do business with you because nobody wants to deal with someone who doesn't think they know more than the other guy. At least have that, self-belief. Point is, you got to know other experts. If you're the best in your field, part of being the best in your field means that you associate with other people who are the best in their field. The best mechanic. The 3 best hairdressers, the 2 best dog walkers. Of course, you have a full list of restaurants in your community, 2 different places where your kids can play both at day and at night. You are a connector, right? Do you have 3 plumbers in your phone right now, one of which who can probably go and solve an emergency at someone's house? If you don't, well, that's what you should do today is build that relationship. Oh, how do I get these plumbers? It's pretty simple. Hit that phone, get on Yelp, and call your local mechanic, local plumber, and say, hey, I'm a local real estate expert. I'm looking to refer business semi-regularly to the best haircutter in town, to the best mechanic in town. Would you mind telling me what makes that you? And look, you're not hard-nosing these people. You don't want to be hardballing them. Whatever they say, they're an expert. Like, you know, as long as they don't say like, oh, we usually throw.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Awesome. You're in. You're my preferred vendor. And it's a law of reciprocity that if I send 3 oil changes to Johnny Mechanic in the middle of my town, he goes, who's this realtor who keeps sending me oil changes? You walk in there one day, hey, I'm Johnny Realtor, and nice to meet you, Johnny Mechanic. Everybody's Johnny in this world. But would it be okay if I stuck a stack of cards in here because I like referring you business regularly? It's not accidents when you get that call from I was actually at the mechanic today and he said I should talk to you. Like, there's no accidents. There's Joe Rogan quote from a podcast was there's luck is the residue of good choices.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The harder I work, the luckier I get.
Exactly. So,
now, my phone has 3 of all those things, but in 3 different cities. Actually, 4.
There you go. Yep.
So you got to have a pretty big Rolodex. That's why I talk to a lot of people. That's why I do a lot of things. I love recommending things, all that stuff. So same and
it's
concept.
Powerful, man. If you can, and it's happened to me a couple of times. Like just like it makes me feel really good. And that's just my, own benefit at the end is like, I've introduced a couple of really big strategic business partners before that. And I've introduced a lot of people. It's gone nowhere. That's fine too. But I've introduced a handful of people. It's like, oh, this is my number 1 referral partner. Oh, a great example here. I wrote a book, right? So one day I was talking to an office manager here in Del Mar, and I said, hey, what's a big goal you're working on? He goes, oh, I'm trying to write a book. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I wrote a book. And he goes, oh, I'd love some feedback or help. One email, I connected him to my writing coach who helped me, right? Get a coach if you want to get anything done. And a year and a half later, I walked into his office and he has his own book.
Wow. That's cool.
I'm in the dedications page.
Oh, wow.
Like,
very cool.
It's all me. Like, just so cool. Like that, because I know the power of how much a book can change someone's life. And I'm like, dude, just by
is that at my old office or a different office?
It was Coldwell Banker Del Mar.
Coldwell Banker. Cool. Very cool, man.
So
love that.
It's just neat.
Well, that's the thing. When you're a helpful person like you are, helpful, positive, full of energy, and doing it for the right reasons, then that's what makes it, easy for people to do business. You attract people because you're genuinely nice, interested, and trying to help them achieve whatever goal it is. And that goes so far. I mean, it goes so far. It's crazy. It's almost like a cheat code.
Yep.
I don't even feel like I'm working or selling anything because I'm not. All I'm doing is helping people. And that goes for me. I help, I mentor and coach agents, plus I sell real estate. So that's even divided into 2 different kinds of categories. And it's all about helping people. So now a lot of times I'm helping agents help other people, help clients. So it's like it's a big chain where we're pulling each other up the ladder,
Yep, definitely. Yeah, exactly. And it's just, it's building likability,
building rapport. I always said that you got some ruffians around there. What's going on? Barely, not very loud.
Yeah, okay.
Probably
that's
loud
the thing.
on your
I
end.
just moved into this garage office and I'm learning. It's lovely. I really do enjoy it, but I'm in like a neighborhood and I can't like walk out and be like, hey, settle down, you kids. There's business going on here.
Get off my lawn. Get off my driveway.
As the youngest of 3 boys who grew up in an old school town in New Jersey where kids played in the street freely and cars were a secondary protocol, I could never stop them. So just let them go.
I remember those days. Yeah. No, that's cool.
I was
I like it. I like
the little kid, so I got to stand on the corner and yell car. I didn't get to play much.
Car. Everybody runs. Dude, I remember those days. I don't think kids these days get a lot of that. So that's
one thing that I do like about this community. I mean, it's much as the kids are making noise. I was out last night. There's 20 kids playing out in the street and hanging out. I'm like, good. I like that. There's but it's recently we were kind of talking about this. I moved from San Diego to Temecula for multiple different reasons, but it's, we were saying it's just like the space. Like I like being out. I mean, Temecula is still pretty crowded, relative to most rural places. However, I'm in there's houses here. It's a nice community. Whereas in the city, I was living in a condo surrounded by concrete, surrounded by freeways.
Yeah. Are you
Yeah.
kind of over by what part of town? Are you by the wineries or?
Kind of. I'm like just north of the 79 south. So I'm like in the
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
called
yeah.
Red Hawk area, kind of
Yeah.
central Temecula, and I love it. I rented out my place, moved in with a buddy for a little while, and just doing the thing here while saving up and getting ready to make that next move wherever that is.
I love it. Yeah, I just was there. Let's see here. My brain's still fried from this 2 week trip, the road trip that I took, but I was just there and I picked up a boat in Temecula. I picked up a boat from my in-laws and drove it the rest of the way back to the country. So started in Iowa, went the south route to San Diego, and then came up through Colorado and Utah and all that on the way back
Beautiful.
with the boat.
Yep.
About lost the lights on the boat because driving through the 70 after the winter, it is so bumpy. It was crazy. So it rattled the brackets holding the lights almost all the way off. It broke screws, all kinds of stuff. I kept having to like
Yeah.
reinforce it. It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. Wow.
But yeah, made it back to Iowa, and now we're here working on farm stuff. I was telling you about getting mini cows, pygmy goats, and silky chickens. Have you seen silky chickens? Do you know what those are?
I have. Yeah, they're pretty cool. They're cool looking. They're
fuzzy chickens.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. And then we'll have some events. That's kind of what I was thinking is we'll have events like and have realtors, clients, all that kind of thing come over and pet the little animals.
Yep. I mean, you have a built-in petting zoo now.
Yeah. This guy, when I was in Denver, came up with a great idea. This is the beauty of networking and running into people. This guy and his wife, we were talking to. The wife was actually from Newton, Iowa, just crazily enough. And the guy was like, "You should start a selfie farm." And I was like, "A selfie farm?" Yeah. And there's so many colleges around where we live. So the college kids will come and spend money to spend the day with your farm animals. Like, have you seen those ones where they will let you go like lay and frolic with their golden retrievers, like golden retriever hang out? I don't know what you call it.
The first thing that came to mind was you've probably seen this. It's like it's more of this is the LA equivalent, whereas they have that like it's like a fake plane that people go sit on and like pretend that they're influencers. That's real. That's a real thing.
I have not heard of that.
It's terrible. Yeah, it's one of my favorite quotes when it comes to social media is don't judge your raw footage off of someone else's highlight reel.
Yeah.
Especially nowadays, going back to what I just said, like that reel is fake. Like that picture, that's not real. Like that's not who you are. Like not to say, be authentic as much as you can. But yeah, those exist. So maybe stick like a little plane on your property too for those influencers who want to come out. They just got back on a private plane. It's garbage.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool idea because they'll come out and it's just about marketing, right? If you want to market that way, it's like a petting zoo / selfie farm and like set up different like backdrops or setups or cool things like. Make it a destination. Make it a place for college kids to go for the afternoon,
and families and like senior pictures and I don't know, weddings, but the weddings start getting more involved.
Family pictures. So like having like kind of like a photo, not studio, but a couple different setups on your property.
Yeah, and then just have a photographer maybe come to work there too, or I don't know that I want to do it. I'm brainstorming because we're trying to figure out how to do it, have fun, have people come to our place. I like to host. I love to host people over, but minimize kind of time intensity.
Well, I mean, the thinking out loud, being that we're just saying, just being the connector. I mean, you just need to find a photographer who's hungry for work. And make them in charge of the booking and everything, right? So you're just simply the property owner and the manager. Yeah, come and go as you please. And obviously you need a photographer you trust, but then that way they can book and they just pay you a percentage off of their booking rather than having them go direct.
Exactly. But the cool thing is we're providing a cool place for friends, clients, family, and all kinds of other people to come and hang out and just have fun.
Yep. Put a bar on it.
Dude, for sure. So there's this huge building. It's 75 by 55 metal building. The back half is a barn and the front half is like 2 shops. And there's a big catwalk over the one and huge staircase. So I want to tear out underneath it. And then you'll be able to walk on a platform above it. But under that will be like a bar in there. I think it's going to be cool.
Yep. No, awesome, dude. I like it.
You have to come out and check out my mini cows.
Yeah, definitely. Once you're up and rolling, I strive to get out to I'm getting more of a rural area. I'm definitely a country person. It's one thing I learned from going across the country on a bike. And people ask, like, what was your favorite part? What was your favorite place? My favorite place overall, I went to, a bunch of different cities and everything, but my favorite place was the place that was furthest away from all of those places. The in-betweens, man. Those were the parts that I can't really, it's hard to describe, but you've been out there in just the most rural parts of the country, and especially when you're alone on a bicycle, right? There's no engine running, there's no one there. You haven't seen a car for 20 or 30 minutes. Like, I'm definitely more of a country guy who's born in the city, but I loved it. Yeah.
I do know what you mean. I used to bike crazy. Before I moved to San Diego, I came with like a $2,000 bike and like a $500 car, something like that. I mean, 2 days in, somebody stole my bike, and then I just had the car. And I was like, what the heck, man? I was like, that's the nicest thing I had. But anyway, I just know what you mean by when you're walking, and especially like in a rural, quiet place, cruising on a bicycle, there's almost nothing better, man.
Yeah.
Like
everything is noise nowadays. I've been focusing on not using my headphones as much anymore, because I was like a lot of people, headphones in the store, headphones at the gym, headphones on my run. And when it's okay to listen to stuff. It's good. It's actually really good to listen to, podcasts and personal growth. But honestly, I listen to too much comedy and Joe Rogan at the end of the day. But the point is, like, if you're listening to that, you're not listening to yourself. You're not letting that voice in your head stretch its legs. You're just saying, hey, take a seat. I got it. No. This podcast, that song, this podcast, that song, this thing, that show, this podcast, right? We're on screens. The average American is on a screen 7.5 hours a day.
Yeah. Mine's 7.5, 8 hours a day. It tells me.
That's just the phone. I'm not even talking about computers, TVs, navigation systems, internet, all the different things. So the point is just, I really think we need to, as a society, and I'm, getting on my soapboxes, is like unplug a lot more. But we're not going that way. We're not going that way. People are wearing goggles and walking around driving. The cars are driving themselves while people are wearing goggles watching Netflix. It's crazy, man. I saw one the other day. I saw someone with the goggles on the other day, and it was just. We're coming up on some strange times, but the best thing you can do is go sit in the woods for a little bit by yourself. Like, period.
I agree. We're 5 minutes to a reservoir lake, but a pretty big lake. And we're in the middle of a forest. There are houses around, all that kind of stuff. But to your exact point, that's why we're here. That's why we're enjoying all of that. A little bit of separation from people and the noise, just hanging out with our deer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I want to maybe share like one other story.
Give us one story to kind of take us out. We're at the end of the show anyway, so give us a grand finale.
Well, we were talking briefly before about tattoos, right? And so I know you got a couple awesome ones on your arms, and obviously they hold they say serenity and courage, which I'll fill in whatever everyone else was thinking. But it's awesome. It seems like they're extremely meaningful for you. And actually, I got my first tattoo on my 35th birthday this past year. And since then, I've added one more. And I want to tell you about the second one real quick. The first one, real in short, it says Kaizen, which is it's a chapter in my book. And you might have heard of that before. It's a Japanese concept. It means constant and never-ending improvement. It's applied to the workforce. It's specific, or that's kind of what it entails. But the whole thing is be 1% better every day. If you're 1% better every day, you change your life every 100 days. So be 1% better every day. And it's just a constant reminder. So yeah, it's funny, right? I grew up in a family. Tattoos were not a really popular thing. My parents, not a big fan. And I remember I told my dad when I was 25, when I wrote the book, I was like, here's a little piece of parenting advice for all of you. Take this one. I told him, I was like, I really want to get this tattoo. I've thought about it. Like, I really want to get it. My dad goes, like, wait 10 years. He goes, if you're 35 and you still want to get it, like, you got our blessing. You're 35 at that point. You're out on your own. So on my 35th birthday, I was like, so I thought about it, and I really appreciate the advice, because I do still want to get this tattoo. And the 10 years gave me a lot of time to think about the other 12 tattoos I'm going to get.
Yeah.
So
I love
since then I've added 2 more, but this one right here, it says no excuses.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And why I
Ooh,
have that.
on the wrist there, those are vibrating on those tendons.
Yeah.
Ooh, I know
Yeah.
what that feels
Why
like.
I have that is it's a chapter in my book. I'll tell you the story here to kind of to bring it home. But I used to wear these bracelets for a while that say no excuses. The reason why this is going back to, I thought it was 10 years ago. It turns out it was 12 years ago. When I reread the book, I was like, my God, time is flying. But it was 12 years ago. And I got the tattoo on the 12-year anniversary of this story, which is in January. So it's January. It was the third Saturday in January. I was living in Pacific Beach at the time, which is like the party part of town. I was 24 years old. And I was Saturday night, and I told myself at 7:00 p.m., I was like, I'm going to the gym tonight, right? Going to the gym. It's 10:00 at night. Where am I still sitting? Same place on my couch, right? But I peel myself off the couch. I get into 24-hour fitness. It's Saturday night. It's about 10:30 p.m. I'm not exaggerating, Shay. There are 0 other people there. 0.
Wow.
Which,
yeah.
Saturday night, party town, whatever. Until this guy walks in. And first thing I notice about him is not how jacked he is, because he's yoked. Guy's got to be 6'3", bald head, like probably 225, solid muscle. And that's not what I noticed first. I noticed that he's wearing full medical scrubs. Like he just walked out of a doctor's office, like an operating room. And I'm like,
wow.
So I got to ask, right? So I'm like, hey man, like what's up with the get up? And he laughs and he goes, oh, I figured somebody would ask. And then he's like, Eric, let me tell you. I told myself, and it was 2014, I guess, whatever year, 2014, it said, or 2012, said, I go to the gym every single day. No excuses. Wow. I enter this building every day. And he goes, Eric, I don't have to get the best workout every single day, but I got to come here every single day because consistency is everything. And he goes, no, I told myself, no matter what, no excuses. And here's the point. He goes, I just worked 16 hours straight at the hospital, but I knew if I went home just to change my shoes, right, I'm not getting back out. Like, that's awesome, dude. We high five. I walk away, and it just kind of like 10 minutes later kind of hit me like a sack of bricks. I'm sitting there, physically feeling myself, and I'm like, why am I not where I want to be? Like, it's not because someone's force feeding me. It's not because I can't, because someone smashes my alarm clock every night that I go to bed and I can't get up. It's because of what? The excuses I'm making along the way. Yep. Right? Excuses are internal, reasons are external. There's very rarely, not to say never, there's very rarely a reason you really can't do something. A lot of the time, most of the time, it's an excuse. It's too rainy. It's too cold. It's too early. My leg hurts. My head hurts. Blah, 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 blah. So
I'm tired.
I got these bracelets made, and I used to wear 2 of them at all times. If you look at any photo of me in the last 10 years, I would wear 2 because people would say, hey, what's that? And I tell them the story and they go, oh, I want one of those. And I go, here, take this one. It's caked in my sweat. It's authentic. But yeah, I finally, after wearing, one of these bracelets for over a decade, and, they're cool, but they are kind of annoying sometimes and you're sleeping. I never took it off. I finally, if you wear something every single day for over a decade, it's pretty permanent. So I was like, let's just throw it on there. So, that's what I encourage people, man.
That's cool. Yeah.
Is stop making excuses for the person you are capable of being. Right? People just shoot themselves in the foot continuously. They shoot themselves in the foot before they even get to the starting line. Oh, and that's what we're talking about to kind of bring it home here. That's what we're talking about when we're starting. Like, oh, it's there's the NAR lawsuit and rates and the people are mean and the world and Trump and Biden and blah, 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 blah. It's just like, does that affect your ability to hit 10 buttons on a phone? Nope. Like, does that affect your ability to put on sneakers? And I don't care if you run. I don't care if you sprint. I don't care. Just go outside to get into the sun. Does that affect your ability to call someone you love and say how much you love them? Like, to be grateful? Like, no. So just stop making excuses for the things you wanted to do and start just doing the things you're capable of doing. And that would be my, I guess, closing message of the thing. And if anybody does want a book, I do donate 100% of the proceeds back to the nonprofit. So if you ever want a book, if you message me on Instagram or email, whatever, I can send you one directly. Again, I didn't write the book to become a New York Times best-selling author. I wrote it to help people along the way. Perfect. The trash truck's rolling through.
Woo! Perfect. And we'll take it out from here.
Love it.
Eric, thanks so much for joining us today. Really appreciate your energy and all your wisdom. As always, great to see you. So thanks for joining us today. For all of you out there, thanks for joining me on my first podcast that I've had in a couple of months. So we'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. This was our 27th episode. So we'll see you on the 28th. Thanks again, Eric. We'll talk to you soon, brother.
Thank you.